What's up, you sick-ass mofos? Welcome into Goose's Gaming News. We're talking about Skull and Bones today, so stick around. That is right. Talking about Skull and Bones today on the show. We got a lot of information to go over and quite a lot of time to go over it. So we're going to just jump on in and talk about it. I, for one, am absolutely excited for this, what looks like an incredible game. Not to be too hyped for you, but because a lot of people's not going to like it, to be honest with you. A lot of people do not like a lot of Ubisoft games that come out. You know, when Siege came out, Siege had a little bit of a rocky start, to say the least, but it became one of the better games, one of the better Tom Clancy games that are available. I also was a big fan of Wildlands. And so yeah, I also played the absolute pants off of The Division. Wasn't a big fan of Division 2. But I did play the absolute brakes off of Division 1. Jumping in here with my window capture. Looks like it all worked as I had hoped. Got the digital art book and soundtrack. Super cool. Super cool. Go ahead and look at what information we do have so far. There is quite a bit. Let's go to news. I'd make that just a hair bigger. Let's go ahead and look. I think this is the cinematic trailer. This thing is ridiculous.
Society has rules. It decides where you belong.
Get my white wig
And what
on.
you're worth. But you can chart a new course. Even when death seems a certainty, do not give up. On the shores of a new world, you awaken. More determined than ever to carve a life of your choice. Fighting under our own flag, we will take what's ours. Together, we will take on the world. Society may have rules, but today, you decide where you belong and what you're worth. Now choose. Will you live as pawns or die as pirates?
Coming to consoles and gaming platforms near you on November 8th. Don't worry, I finished their segment for you. Got the pre-order now bundle, so if you add an extra $30 to the game, you get this very cool outfit. It's called the Highness of High Sea Pack, along with some cool crazy fireworks. I was playing Sea of Thieves actually yesterday. This game got me hyped enough to play Sea of Thieves for the first time. And I got my first firecrackers. I don't know how to work them yet, but I'm going to figure it out. Alright, so we don't actually have a super ton of information about this game yet. They did go ahead and drop this dev blog on July 11th, a couple days ago. Gave us some pretty cool, what I'm going to do, I'm already making quite a bit of content about this game, but I'm going to go through everything that we have. Like here you can see the different available ships. They claim that there's 12 available ships. So I want to go through and make sure I get at least some kind of eyes on all 12 ships if I can. I really want to find out just how customizable are these puppies, are these bad boys. Get the brig. I'm a real big brigantine type of a guy, typically. And you get the size. I went into this as well. A couple articles that I have. Very cool screenshots, but we got cannons, we got mortars, we got bombards, we got ballistas, we got rockets, torpedoes, Greek fire looks very interesting. And then the various types of armor that you can check out. That's roguecorp.online. Go ahead and check it out on Xbox over here. Got two sources for you today. I got my Xbox, I got a PC connected to Streamlabs. We got the description. Enter the perilous paradise of Skull and Bones, inspired by the Indian Ocean during the golden age of piracy. As you overcome the odds and rise from an outcast to an infamous pirate. Man, maybe I should do voiceovers. You know what I mean? Like I should do all kinds of voiceovers. You got craft up to 12 ships, customize them with a variety of weapons and armor to maximize your chances for success. But we also got, here's what we got. We got $69.99 for the original version, and we got $99.99 for the premium edition. You also get extra stuff, allegedly, if you pre-order the game. Access to the art book, yeah. So you get the art book. They actually gave us already. You can download quite a few screenshots. Quite a few screenshots of the game. You just come on here. I forget how I did it. Brutal naval combat. But I gotta be honest with you, this game looks absolutely incredible, and I have to play it. But I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm gonna pre-order it, if I'm gonna get the premium edition, if I'm gonna get the regular edition. Check out our Ubisoft Connect app. You can also get the game on the Ubisoft Connect app. Looks like I gotta work for it. There we go. That works a little bit better. Now, we can check out this beautiful footage.
Welcome to Skull and Bones. Our game takes place during the golden age of piracy, in a world inspired by the beautiful yet dangerous Indian Ocean. You'll start your journey as an outcast, whose goal is to become the most infamous pirate to sail these treacherous waters. After surviving a shipwreck, you begin your adventure in St. Anne, one of the pirate dens in our world. Dens are centers of pirate activity, where you can craft new ships and equipment, provision for your expeditions at sea, pick up contracts, and socialize with other players. Any pirate worth their salt will tell you that preparation is key to success. Get ready for any challenges that come your way by checking that your cargo is stocked with items like food and ammunition. Once you're set, it's time to head out and explore. As a rookie pirate, you'll only have access to a small dhow, but as you progress, you'll be able to craft different ships, each with their own unique playstyle. At sea, you'll need to pay close attention to the condition of your ship and the morale of your crew. Your crew are a pack of vicious raiders and rovers who will mutiny against you, if not kept well-fed and happy. If your ship sinks, you'll lose some progress and respawn at the nearest discovered den or outpost. The good news is that most of your cargo will be recovered, and you'll have the opportunity to retrieve the rest from the wreckage. But you'd better be quick, as other players can also steal it. As a pirate captain, your reputation is everything, and our game tracks this through infamy. The higher your infamy, the more opportunities you'll get. One of the many ways to grow your infamy is to take up contracts. These are deals that you can make with other pirates in the world. Contracts can have great rewards if you're successful, or costs if you fail. You can also gain infamy by completing other activities, such as exploration, plundering, treasure hunts, investigations, dynamic events, and much more. You can undertake these either solo or with other players. The world of Skull and Bones is filled with riches and resources that you'll be able to gather as you explore. Lagoons and rivers are teeming with dangerous wildlife that you can hunt for animal skins and meat. You'll also be able to harvest a variety of raw materials, such as ore and wood, that can be refined and used for crafting. Crafting is an essential activity for you to progress as an infamous pirate. Obtain blueprints and use your refined resources to craft stronger ships, weapons, and armors. In Skull and Bones, ships serve many different purposes. Cargo ships are slower, but useful if you need to transport large volumes of loot. Navigation ships sail faster, but have less cargo space and lower hull HP. Firepower ships have more gun ports, allowing you to deal higher damage, but are more challenging to maneuver. Similarly, you can craft a wide array of unique weapons and armors, from Greek fires to giant ballistae to rocket launchers and mortars, as well as different armor types, which have varying strengths and weaknesses against incoming attacks. With your new fleet and growing arsenal, create a loadout based on your personal playstyle to become a force of destruction. Out in the open ocean, opportunities and threats are abundant. Use your spyglass to identify lucrative trade routes or wealthy merchant ships and assess your prey's cargo and firepower. Strategize a plan of attack based on your opponent's defenses and take advantage of their weak points to deal more damage. Sinking your foes from afar rewards you with only a portion of their cargo, as some of it will be lost to the depths. Getting in close to execute a boarding maneuver will help maximize your gains. But beware, you can turn from predator to prey in a heartbeat if you attract the unwanted attention of privateers, the merciless pirate hunters that patrol the seas. If you enjoy the thrill of the hunt, you can also seek out other players and rain terror on them. Such PvP battles are high-stakes activities that can be rewarding if you emerge victorious. From your spoils of battle, personalize your individual look with outfits that command respect. You can also select from a multitude of ship customization options to instill fear in your enemies. With the wind in your sails, journey to the furthest reaches of the Indian Ocean, from the coast of Africa to the East Indies. Encounter extreme weather events like violent storms and monstrous rogue waves. Keep your eyes peeled for outposts, which are safe spots where you'll be able to dock your ship for a short rest from the perilous seas. Here, you can trade with traveling merchants and clandestine smugglers selling rare and illegal goods. Uncover buried bounties at outposts as you decipher treasure maps obtained through your voyages. Although all the content in Skull and Bones can be done solo, you might enjoy ruling the seas with your friends. While sailing, you can also easily invite other pirates you encounter to group up. Synergize your different playstyles, ships, and weapons to defeat deadlier enemies. As you grow stronger, take on more difficult challenges, such as attacking forts and plundering settlements. And, if you're bold enough, engage in dynamic events, like taking down heavily laden merchant ships and their fleet of warship escorts. Now, it's up to you to write your own story. Remember, there is no one path to follow, no one way to play. The world of Skull and Bones is yours to discover.
I mean, I just can't even handle it. How great it actually looks. This game looks incredible. The crafting system looks like it could need a little bit of help. But, let's see, what does that say? Anyway, you can get it on Ubisoft Connect, Xbox Series XS, PS5, Epic Game Store, and Stadia, and Amazon's Luna, surprisingly enough. Amazon wants a crack at their own gaming platform, and why not? All hands on deck. Pop this up. See if it'll give us any more information on what we No, doesn't seem like it. Not seem like, okay, well, they tell us what we get, but they don't specify as to what it actually is. Now the outfit. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I guess you get the outfit. You probably get this skin for your ship. That's probably the Ballad of the Bloody Bones collection. The 2 extra missions I'm interested to hear about. And the Smuggler's Pass token really has me very interested because of the Premium Battle Pass. We know that Ubisoft and a lot of other gaming companies and franchises are coming out with these battle passes to go ahead and try to give players a reason to spend their money and get additional skins and emotes a lot of times and things of that nature. So it only makes sense that they have one as well. And you can actually go ahead and get this game. You get this game and the premium edition on release day if you have a subscription to Ubisoft Connect. Now this only counts for the PC version. I believe you have to download it actually through the Ubisoft Connect app. But I do believe this is a cross-play game. So you will still be able to play with your friends on Xbox if you do it that way. I might go ahead, depending on the perks that you get, I might go ahead and play it on both. Just because if I get extra stuff, then that is exactly what I'm going to do. I just really wonder if you get the subscription here, if you can then also have the game on Xbox. I doubt it. Doesn't seem like many games do that type of thing, but it would be very cool. And I also wonder about the cross-save ability. It does seem like you have to connect your Ubisoft account on all platforms. So maybe you keep all the goodies. That would be very cool. Be almost too cool, actually. Be almost way too cool. How do I go here? Okay, once again. Okay, you get the helm decor, you get the mass trophy, the wheel. And these look like the 2 extra missions. You're going to get the Ashen Corsair, the Bloody Bones Legacy. Which I gotta be honest with you, if you're interested in this game before it comes out, you probably gotta go ahead and get that. I know it's a lot of extra money. Which really it's not. If you get the subscription, actually, you know, you think about it. If the standard edition is $70 and the premium edition is $100, then you get the subscription for 1 month and then buy the base game. That would technically save you like $5. I don't know if it works like that, but in my head, it kind of works like that. But you would save like $5. In theory, I don't know. But personally, I got to get this pile. It doesn't come out till November. What is it? November 8th. Which I said on Facebook yesterday that it was the 7th. That's because Xbox told me it was the 7th. But actually, it's the 8th. November 8th, this game comes out. You got till then to pre-order it. See, the pre-orders on Xbox are weird. They don't charge it until like a week before the game. So you really have to figure something out with that. Let's go, Microsoft. Figure this shit out. I'm going to go ahead and start working on an article for Skull and Bones. This is what we already watched.
But we know why you're here. You want to know?
Come on, show me this.
Big quick! Fire!
Bones just revealed new gameplay and is bringing you all that good pirate action on the Indian Ocean when it launches on November 8th. But we know why you're here. You want to know more about your ships and blowing stuff up.
Yes, we do.
Well, to learn more about your fleet and combat so you can blow stuff up, we spoke to Senior Game Director Ryan Barnard. All right, let's start at the beginning. So can you tell me a bit about the Dow, the first ship that players will captain in Skull and Bones?
Sure. So as you mentioned, the Dow is our smallest ship. It's the first ship that you get when you start the game as you're rescued by what will eventually become your crew. It's what we call kind of the hunter-gatherer ship, where you learn how to gather resources and hunt some of the wildlife to basically collect things that you'll need to use to craft bigger and better ships, different weapons, and different armors.
In the early hours, will players have the tools to start fights with other ships, or is it more of a lay low until you can have a bigger boat situation?
If you choose to join a PvEP server, meaning PvP is enabled, you can engage with combat with other players at any time. Even on your Dow, having little spear fights is actually kind of fun sometimes. You'll be upgrading your ships pretty quickly in the game to get something larger where you can start adding cannons, some more firepower, and then you might want to start taking on other players if you wish. It's a little bit easier to sink them and try to steal their loot.
As players craft newer and bigger ships, what relationship will they have with their fleet? Do you envision players having one flagship that pour all of their resources into upgrading, or maintaining an array of different ships for different activities?
At launch, we have 12 playable ships, which we call the captain's fleet, that we want the players to eventually acquire, unlock, and craft. And we definitely are more in the second camp of that question, where we want the ships to have things that they're best at. We call them kind of tools for the players. So it's not necessarily about upgrading to a certain ship and then that's all you use for the rest of the game. I'm sure players will get an affinity for the certain types of play styles and ships that they like the most, but there will always be a right tool for the job and maybe another ship that they want to craft and customize out in their loadout for taking on certain types of activities and certain type of pirating in the game. If you were given a contract or a job from another pirate to move a large quantity of stolen goods or dangerous material from one place to another, as one of our quests in the game, you're definitely going to want to use a cargo ship to be able to accomplish that. So you can use anything for most activities in the game, but there will always be the best choice for what you're trying to accomplish. Our pirate game, our open world pirate game with Skull and Bones, is naval combat, and we definitely wanted to be best in class for this type of game, which is ships on the sea. So our combat is very fast paced, and we also have depth added into the combat. So the types of weapons you choose versus your enemies will be important. As you're in combat, your crew actually kind of works into this combat fervor, which we call fury, and you'll be able to unleash what we call crew-to-crew attacks. That could turn into a boarding attack, and it's the only way you can actually get all the loot and make sure that nothing sinks to the bottom.
When you're fighting, what are the major elements you need to consider? For example, loadout, scouting, positioning, aiming, etc.
All of our weapons and armors are classified into an element. So it's based on, of course, we want to be grounded in reality of this 17th century kind of dawn of piracy. So things will be blunt, or maybe they will cause tearing of the sails, or they could cause flooding. Now, based on the target that you're taking on, they'll have some type of armor. It could be just wood. It might be stone, it might be clay, which we call terracotta in the armor section. And based on your loadout, you will have either a good effect, you'll have a bonus damage to that enemy type, or you might be neutral to that enemy type, or you might actually be doing less damage. Now, you're never completely inefficient. You can always take on any target with any type of loadout, but there will be better, more effective loadouts depending on what you're facing. Also, the sails are a way that you can actually slow your enemies, or eventually kind of rooting them in place for a temporary period of time where they can be easier to take out. Also, all of our enemy ships have something we call weak points. So depending on the class of the enemy ship, you'll see these large kind of outlined red targets. And if you take those out, you'll do a high amount of damage. You might start the ship burning. They'll have a different effect. It might change their behavior, but it'll definitely do a lot of damage.
Let's talk about when combat doesn't go your way. So is it possible to flee from combat and escape an enemy or reach a safe haven?
Yes, so it might be more difficult to escape a player, for instance, who's chasing you, but you definitely can flee. And we have safe areas around both dens in the game, which are kind of our mini pirate villages, if you will. So you can run and flee to get back to those areas, and then you'll be safe. Or you can just try to outrun or outsail some of the enemies if they're chasing you, which also can happen. In some of our plundering activities, the whole point might be just to kind of snatch and grab. So you get what you can while you can hold off the enemy, the reinforcements coming, and then you were always planning on running at some point. So that's definitely possible.
As a follow-up question, if combat really doesn't go your way, what happens to your ship and crew when you're sunk? What happens to your cargo?
So if you do happen to get sunk, which will happen to everyone, and you lose your ship, what happens is there's a wreck created where that happens, which has a certain amount of your materials. Then you'll respawn basically either at one of the dens or at the nearest outpost, depending on what you choose. And most of your materials are mailed back to you. They're insured, so you can get them in the mail. If you choose to then go sail out to your wreck and no one has looted it, like another player, then you will basically get all of your materials back, and it'll just have cost you a little bit of time, and you recraft your ship and you keep going.
With this wind, nothing can catch
Recraft
up.
your ship.
You know, Skull and Bones is an online open world or open sea game, and so you definitely will be coming across other players. And whether or not PvP can be an option is based on your choice. So are you on a PvP opt-in server or not? So if you are, then you have to be kind of wary and make sure that you're not going to become the target of another pirate. But at any point, if you feel like, that's not for you, or you feel like there's maybe too many players that are engaging in PvP on the server you're on, you can just opt out immediately and go to a PvE only server, and you don't lose any progress. There's no penalty. There's no problem switching back and forth. And then maybe you progress a little further, you get a different ship, you upgrade some of your weapons, and maybe you want to jump back into a PvP enabled server, because there are benefits for playing and risking more on the PvP enabled servers.
Alright, well I think I'm ready for combat. Thank you all for watching. Check out the Skull and Bones worldwide gameplay reveal on Ubisoft's YouTube channel. Take care.
Very cool. So that actually answered a lot of questions that I had originally. So it sounds like when your ship is destroyed, you do have to recraft it. It is gone, but you get a lot of your materials back for it. So it sounds like you could probably create a smaller ship, or with your collection of items, probably craft that same ship if you have a good inventory base set up. Skull and Bones. And it sounds like there's no real downside to just playing PvE until you're ready for PvP. And you probably could just stay in PvE for as long as you wanted. Does not seem like that big of an issue. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. That answered a lot of my questions. I'm going to keep going, probably creating more and more content. As I learn things, I'll go over to their YouTube channel, try to take a lot of their information, put it in articles in my own words, and hopefully be on the goddamn seas before too long. It is based in the Indian Ocean. I don't know a whole lot about the Indian Ocean, but I am excited to learn, and I honestly can't wait for it. So I'm going to have to start a Facebook group and hopefully find some teammates for me. That's going to be really cool. So that is all the time we have for today, talking about Skull and Bones. And I'm going to probably go to playing Sea of Thieves after this. So feel free to hit me up. And later, mofos.